Hey, crypto family, hope y'all been doing good. So today we're going to go over some Bitcoin and Ethereum analysis for December 13th, 2019. So this first chart I have up here is Bitcoin longs. Now this is through Bitfinex. Now basically this is the amount of contracts and interest that are open currently. And I like to gauge this because usually when there's a big spike in longs, usually that is followed by a big short. So you can see right now the Bitcoin longs in the 3-day chart here. This stems from the very beginning of 2017 and then to current. And you can see right now that the number of longs, 41,249, is insane. So the number of positions is crazy because you can see here, this is the highest we've been ever since towards the beginning of 2017. You can see here that in March of 2018, we reached a high of 40,193. And then you can see we reached another high there of the beginning of February 2019. And now we are actually at the highest. So this is just something to keep in mind is, when Bitcoin hits these levels, history usually repeats itself. Now, they say, don't look at that, but just use it kind of like an indicator for the future. So I'm thinking that maybe we could have a possible downturn soon. Now, I say that just because, again, we are reaching these high resistance levels on the number of longs open. So there's something to keep in mind. You can see here on the RSI is starting to curve over, extremely overbought. And you can see here on the MACD. So the MACD on the 3-day, now it's still dark green, meaning there's still a lot of buying, could still be dark green again. But again, if it changes to light green here, then that is a strong indication that we're going to the downside again. You can see here on the K level for the stochastics is blue line. One, it's way overbought, but two, it's getting close to curving to the downside. So a lot of indicators here indicating we may be reaching that saturation for longs, but we'll just have to keep an eye on that. So now looking at the specific chart for Bitcoin, let's start on the hourly. Now the hourly right now does have a sell signal. As you can see, the previous sell signals have been pretty accurate. So just looking through the past couple of days, every time there's a sell signal, Bitcoin usually falls not too much, probably about $100. So again, it could be a little bit more. You can see here it went from 75.50 all the way down to 73.87. So about $150. Again, not huge moves, but just something to think about when you are looking at Bitcoin here. Again, it's going to fall probably around to that 7150 to 7100 level. But as long as we do stay above that $7,000 level, then we will be in the clear. Now, going and looking at the 2-hour time frame, 2-hour time frame actually has a buy, so indicating longer term we are still looking bullish here. And then you can see on the 4-hour, the 4-hour does have a buy as well. And then looking at the daily. Right now, the daily really has been jumping around a lot, but right now is at a sell. So again, still some sell pressure going on, but some indicators are flashing buys, 2-hour and 4-hour specifically. So basically what that tells me is, okay, this 1 hour, we could have some possible short-term downside, but then we may bounce due to the daily 2-hour, due to 2-hour and 4-hour, being buys. So it's really 50-50 right now, but again, just something to keep in mind when you are looking at the shorter time frames. Now, looking at Bitcoin here at actual resistance and support levels. So you can see here on the daily, it's basically a lot. Let's go to the 1 hour to go ahead and shorten this up a little bit. There's less clutter. So right now you can see the resistance level is around that 7270 level. Okay, we've been below this since December 10th. So the past 4 days we've been below this, and now we're looking to try to test it again. Now you can see actually this triangle pattern that I drew on the daily actually was a bigger one. So previously here, I drew this triangle pattern starting June 26th all the way until September 26th. So 3 months. And you can see it had a huge descending triangle, and then it broke down and it could not regain it. So I looked at drawing, another descending triangle here. It's not really as good as this previous one because of the lack of touch points here. But still, we do see that base is around 7,000 for that support. And then you can see this trend line here. It has been respecting that. So just something I'm thinking. And again, this trend line does break at about 72.75. So exactly where we were looking at on the hourly chart, that 72.75 level here. So if we do break this, I do see that as being bullish, especially if we can break out of this range on the triangle as well. Now the RSI is still a little overbought, but again, still could have some more room to the upside. Now, going to look at Ethereum, one thing I do not like with Ethereum, if you are a long, is this red X here. So you can see on the hourly, every time we've gotten a red X, the next candle has usually been a dump. Now I say dump, basically use the term lightly because it only moved about a couple percent. So again, we may do that short-term downside and then bounce from there. But you can just see the red X's that we've had in the past here, and right here, and right here. You can see it's dumped a couple dollars. So something to keep in mind. May see some downward action here. Looking at the 2-hour for Ethereum, we do have a red dot here on market Cipher B. Wolfpack ID is crossing to the downside. Looking at the 4-hour. 4-hour did have a red X. Again, not much played out with that. It just had a huge drop here from 144.56 to 142.76. So a couple dollars there. And the Wolfpack ID is looking to cross down. So looking at the daily for Ethereum. Now, right now, the daily, there was a yellow X indicating market manipulation, usually bearish, but we do have a green dot here indicating we could start swinging. So again, short term could have a little bit of downside, but longer term could still be swinging to the upside. Wolfpack ID looks like it wants to curve up to the upside as well. Now, going and looking at Ethereum here for more of a broader range. So the MACD here for Ethereum on the hourly is still in the red, indicating we could have some sell pressure here. So the stochastics are looking to be bottoming very soon, so indicating we could possibly flatline at the bottom, maybe come down a little bit more, and then start to curve back up for some positive momentum. Now, looking at the 2-hour here, the 2-hour is still declining for the MACD as well. You can see here the stochastics were a little bit more overbought, curving down, indicating more possible downside. And then the 4-hour here is printing a light green candle now, indicating a longer trend of declining prices. And the stochastic is still above near that overbought level. So again, right now, we are looking at, short-term bearish action here. But again, on the daily, you can see it's starting to curve up. So longer term, we are still looking bullish, but I just want to keep that in mind. The shorter time frames, if they do drag, if everyone jumps on board with the shorts, then we could drag us down below those, possible support levels. But again, money flows in the red right now, indicating more sell pressure. So you have to keep an eye on that. And again, hedge accordingly with that. And then last but not least, looking at some TA here for Bitcoin. So on the daily, the oscillators are neutral, summary saying sell, and the moving average are saying a strong sell. The 4-hour sells across the board, the 1-hour buys across the board, and then the 15-minute buys, 5-minute is buys, and 1-minute is sell. So again, here, hourlies are showing more positive on shorter time frames, and then longer time frames are showing a little bit more bearish. So again, just trying to keep that in mind. But always, like I said, trade accordingly. Never invest what you can't afford to lose. And make sure if you have a strategy, you follow that to the T and you don't deviate from that, and you will see profits along the way. So with that, if you enjoyed the video, please give it a like, comment, and please subscribe if you haven't. Appreciate all my viewers. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time.